After reflecting and thinking a lot about what I learned this past semester, I think one word I would use as a summary is just perspective. That's definitely one thing that I learned from moral leadership is just to have perspective in everything, and like that's what we should search for, and that's what we should ask questions is in order to um, deepen our understanding and our perspective. I think key parts of the semester were when we did the ethical conundrum. I don't remember my guy's name, but the guy who I was assigned was very um, big believer of reflecting and processing through information. I think that's just so important. You change a lot through the course, but unless you can like notice those changes won't become permanent. So I think it is so important to reflect and even just like write stuff down about what you've learned and how you've changed and how you've grown, because then you can look back and be like, okay, this is where I struggled here, and like how can I like look back to see how I grew and what helped and what didn't help. I think reflection is so important for moral leadership. When faced with a big decision or an ethical conundrum, just taking a step back and reflecting about, okay, what is the best for everyone here, and what are all the possibilities to make decisions. Like just getting perspective again, asking questions in order to understand the other person, and asking questions internally, being okay, like is this what I believe? Like is this morally sound to me? And if it's not morally sound to me, like why isn't it? And like how can it be? Slash, is it harmful if it does become morally sound for me compared to someone else? I think aligns with that. One thing I definitely learned was just like the importance of humility. When we talked about Smith Myers and the whole student government, one fear of mine was always like being in a position of public power, and then something like humiliating like that happening, like something like one of my flaws just like being known to everyone. Like what would I do? I think that would just be a huge jab to pride, but I think in practicing moral leadership, humility is so important. Just being able to understand like what mistake you made and just really being able to evaluate the situation. I loved what Tony said about when he was running for student government and he made a mistake and took himself out of the polls, and that was for the interest of everyone else. And then with Smith and his decision, he is in the polls, but in making that decision, in order to be morally sound, it's just really asking questions to see, okay, what is best for everyone? Like, is me staying in power like the best thing for the student government? And if it is, then that's what he should push for. Even if he made a mistake, like we should push past our mistakes. But if him stepping down because of the circumstances is what best serves the community, then that's what he should do. But also like just knowing like in leadership, like position doesn't mean everything. There are advantages to having a position, but like Smith can still serve the student body if he's not president. I can still serve the student body if I'm not president. So I think that's like one thing that I learned a lot in leadership is just the importance of like humility and the importance of serving in all positions, regardless of whether or not I'm like the sole leader or just like a fish in the pond, just like the normal guy on the street, that I can serve others and help others and like increase their understanding of morality. And I think that also just like goes into the next topic of servant leadership and just how important servant and authentic leadership is. Just really, in order to love someone well, and in order to help them, the best way to do is to serve them, and just like to meet their needs and to really ask questions to understand what they're doing. That really helps you build perspective is when you ask them questions about why they make the decisions they do, how they make the decisions they do, rather than asking questions about like major or like what they like, what they dislike, but just really asking questions to get to know them and to get to know their character and to get to know like how they process information, how they're feeling, just really getting to know them like deeply and intimately. I think that is so key for leadership, and in order to really empower someone, it's important just to know them well, and just to make them feel cared for. I think making other people feel cared for and loved for is so important, and that like definitely sets apart like a morally sound and immorally and an immoral leader. Someone who's morally sound is going to like want what's best for the whole population, rather than just himself, and rather than just wanting to like empower himself and like gain the most success. He's like looking out for other people and like wanting others to succeed, which I think is a big part of moral leadership, but just like taking yourself out of the situation and like really like caring and looking out for others. And then I know it's probably redundant, it's been said a lot, but I really love this statement I learned in class about like, I don't know, it depends. Sometimes there is no, a lot of the times there's like no one right answer. And so you just again have to reflect, take back what you know, and like synthesize everything, and then come back with the best possible plan, and also talk to others about other possible plans because we don't know everything. We're humans and we make mistakes, and so I think synthesizing like all the information is so important. Like gathering information from each person and ideas from each person is really important, and then like going in and reflecting and comparing it to your own standard of moral leadership, and then making decisions based on that. So I think, yeah, I don't know. It depends is like such a good answer. Like that filler part of like, okay, I don't know. It depends. I'm gonna go look back, and I can still come back and say that, but maybe I'll come back and like have like more of a insight on what I want to do. But yeah, all in all, it's been a great class. I've really learned a lot just about moral leadership, more about myself and like how I viewed leadership and how I viewed others. So I've just been really thankful for that.